We're live there. Be okay there. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. There's always something. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. And Seth, I already made you co host. Okay, cool. All right. 4:02 p.m. on January 7th, 2025. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We just got set up. I verified we're live streaming and we are good to go. So, thank you, everyone, for joining our Tuesday coherence meditation. So if you are new here, we hold these coherence meditations every single week on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. You can find us right up here. Oh, wow. I just realized you can probably see like some of my computer equipment over there. My green screen, I got to like zoom in a little bit there. So,
I love it.
yeah, that's my server
Great.
rack over there. And I don't know. Someday maybe I'll open this up. Everybody can see my junk in the back. Anyways, right here, I'mAwakeNowWhat.com. That's the main website. You can find everything on there, including if you append a / calendar, you can get our live stream link. Well, a calendar of events, but really only this one right now. Seth is doing a lot of private stuff behind the scenes in there. But that also has our latest and greatest Zoom link. If you recall, probably about 6 months ago, I changed that. And I guess what, 2 weeks ago, somebody else was using the old link. So please be sure to use that latest Zoom link over there. I'm awakenowwhat.com / calendar. So we host our live streams over here on Zoom. We do more than welcome you over here on Zoom on our live stream. Love you, have you over here. Show your pretty face. Of course, doesn't mean you need to show your video at all. You can leave that up to Seth and myself. We do restream over to YouTube and Facebook. So should you want to view it over on one of those platforms, feel free to do so. And while you're over there, please do subscribe, like, share to friends and family, anybody that you think can benefit from these weekly coherence meditations that we've been doing for almost 2 years now. Well, I'll, I'm getting ahead of myself, but in April, it'll be about 2 years. So we love it. We love doing these. I look forward to every single week doing these, put it that way. So, and being the brand new year, new us, pretty cool that we're just continuing this effort. So, anyways, let's see what I left off here. I got that link right there, and I also have another link. So, basically, our coherence meditations have a quick little intro, and we'll go right into it. What I do is I actually have these little pucks right here. These are Bluetooth speakers. I just connect that right into my phone, and what I do is I play a little frequency music, which often gets me pretty deep. As a matter of fact, last week I got pretty deep, and I didn't hear Seth until he ended at the end of our live stream session. I think maybe
Yeah.
another minute after you ended. So, little embarrassed there, but I was pretty deep.
No,
So,
nothing to be
anyway,
embarrassed about.
I'm never embarrassed, right? And while I'm at it right here, let me give you this link right here, bit.ly / CM playlist. I actually compiled that playlist of various frequencies and singing bowls and all this other good stuff. That if you do want to play that, have that capability, just play it in the background, play some frequency music. I have a whole playlist of that right there that I've accumulated in the past maybe 2 years or so. Oh, and also, before I forget, if you are over there on Facebook or actually YouTube, Seth Leaf Przansky is the YouTube channel. You can find all of those previous recordings there dating back to April of about a year and a half ago. And feel free to check those out. I feel that we should probably like, re, I don't know, ping those or something, like, kind of do something with those.
You know what's
Um,
weird on the YouTube channel? you can't see all of those unless you click on the live tab.
I created a playlist over on the Cosmic Gaia community channel, but I didn't do it on your Seth Leaf Przansky
I
um,
see.
channel. So at least I kind of kept up to date on that. Maybe that's one of the next things I'll bring over
Yeah.
when I get a little bit of time. Um, so anyway, speaking of which, then, so we have titles for every single week that we host these coherence meditations, and you'll find those titles over on the recordings. And this week's title is it's kind of interesting, I guess. The so they say what makes the world go round, but take it as you may, is feeling tender for legal tender. Kind of found that interesting because you put legal tender, not lawful tender, and there is a great
Yes,
discrepancy
big
there.
difference.
Total
Absolutely.
big difference there, guys. And I think that with the new year, that's actually a pretty good topic, and it's been a topic that made me wonder a lot of things like 20 plus years ago, since I've done a lot of research on this, and it's led down the rabbit's hole, and eventually has kind of made me wonder a lot of like get me more spiritually, I guess, active or inclined. But it's like here these dollar bills, we'll see on here that they actually back in pre 1933 they actually had here, if you take a look, you can just do a search on the internet for this, but up here up above they actually had silver certificate pre 1933. And nowadays, well, they have Federal Reserve note. So a note is different than a silver certificate. A Federal Reserve note is different than a silver certificate, much like these right here. These are actually pre 1933 silver dollars. This is actual lawful money. So I can keep going. This is probably a topic I can on for hours on. And it's very kind of near and dear to me because this is pretty much what has enslaved the entire world. It's unfortunate, you know what? We've actually gone and entered into contracts for all this stuff, but the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, and then what led into 1933, them taking away our silver, gold, and then again, what, 1971 or 1974? I keep getting those flipped. But there are huge, significant events in our history that really flipped the script on the world's population, and it's really unfortunate. But what I'm getting to here is that without us realizing that and us understanding that and knowing our history, we're just turning a deaf ear to it, and we're allowing them to do this to us, or I guess not even that. We're entering into contracts, like I say, but for us to recognize that is of the greatest importance. And what better way, like brand new year, let's start off on the right path and know what our world is entangled with and involves. Let's see. So I think I got everything here. I kind of went off a little bit more than what I wanted to, but man, how you doing, Seth?
I'm great. And I realized like here we are, beginning of the new year, and your name is Greg, and I was like, are you part
Gregorian.
of the Gregorian calendar? Is that you that was doing that or?
And yeah, when you wrote that email, I'm like, you know what, Gregorian calendar, because people don't like, hey, you get pulled over by a police officer. What's your date of birth? Well, I don't know. I don't have.
My date of birth was
It's all
years ago,
hearsay.
can't you tell?
It's like it's a man-made construct for one.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
timelines and our real. Like what timeline do we want to be on? Be on, Mr. Officer. Do you want my birth date in Gregorian calendar? Which, by the way, is actually copyrighted by the Vatican.
No surprise.
Yep. And yeah, it's like I don't know my date of birth, you know. Yeah. Another thing actually is kind of funny. I the past couple weeks you know, they words matter, and the whole adage where it's like, "Hey, how old are you?" Well, these words that are used all throughout our lives, like good morning, Mourning, or how old are you? These are like just different things, in my opinion, that will keep you down to that level where it's like you are in a state of decedent,
Yeah.
or death. Instead of saying like, hey, I don't know, how old are you? How young are you? Right? As they say. So,
Well, all right.
oh, oh well.
My kitty's trying to get involved. Good seating for the meditation.
And then I also remember here with our 7K coins, we got involved with that. I still have that, and yeah, my collection has kind of gone down a little bit the past couple of years, but I still have those. Different thoughts
Well,
on the
let's get
markets
into
as a
it.
whole.
We'll keep things going. So let's get comfortable. Literally, wherever you are, just totally relax. You could be sitting down, you could be laying down, but more than anything, get into a position that's the most comfortable for you because we are going to explore our body from the inside out, from the perspective of energy. We all hear this stuff. Everything's made of vibration. Everything is frequencies and energy. And it's a nice concept. But kind of like Greg was saying, these are words. And words quite often fall short of, especially when it comes to describing experiences that begin within. And so, with even speaking, I feel that it's more important of to listen to the space between the words. It's just as, if not more important, to focus on the tones, the space between words. And when you get into a relaxed state of being, you have the ability to really tune in to what is really going on. And we often talk about this. What is truly going on? The most important relationship in everybody's life is to this invisible, beyond genius, innate intelligence that is causing a heart to beat. It's causing all of these complex systems of our body to work together, whether we're walking around during the day or we're in our beds and asleep at night. And we've grown up in a world that is always competing for our attention. And that's been normalized. So most people live most of their life in identification with everything external to us. And of course, when you think about space or beautiful landscapes, mountains, oceans, obviously that feels really good. But most of us in this world only rarely visit these bigger perceptual abilities that are beautiful and that imbue us with a sense of awe and wonder. So people are pulling their attention so close to who they think they are that it's almost like perceiving reality in tunnel vision. We have this little narrow perspective, and we're so used to focusing on the same things over and over, and it creates habits. And there's nothing good, bad, right, or wrong about any of that. The fact that that happens is so incredibly powerful because it means that if we can form identity patterns of recognition with everything external to us, that means that we can very easily reverse engineer the same process so that we begin to identify with what is inside of us. And what is inside of us? We know that we're flesh and blood and organs, glands, veins, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, on and on. Our bodies are a marvel of innate intelligence, and yet so few really acknowledge not only that part of ourself, because it's true, just to make habits of being consciously aware in your body, that's more than most people do. But we're going in deeper than that. We are attuning our sense of self awareness to become conscious of the mechanisms of consciousness itself, meaning all of these energies that animate our human self. Because again, we know that everything is vibration, everything is energy, and that we are so perceptively cut off from what we really have access to. And it's an illusion, actually, that we feel cut off from this innate intelligence. And the way we begin to get back in tune with what is happening is to take that tunnel vision view or the perception of reality that you are most identified with. And we begin to expand that. So instead of just thinking about all the same things that we think and feel and our past that we accidentally project into our future, and that as a result of that, we create our future, it becomes predictable, and it doesn't leave that much room for creating identification with innate intelligence. That is energy, but it's not just any energy. It's not static. It is dynamic. It is beyond genius, intelligent. This energy in us that allows all of these systems to work together. That is a literal miracle. It is such a high level of genius intelligence that if we were to suddenly know ourselves at a much greater capacity of what we really are, of what this life really is, we wouldn't be able to process it, because to really know ourselves as we truly are means to break down the illusion that without knowing it, we have created that illusion. We didn't know we were doing it, but through this narrow view of perceptual awareness, we have created perceived disconnection with the very thing or the only thing that matters above and beyond everything external to us. And that genius, that innate intelligence, that miraculous dynamic consciousness, it's not just bioelectric, it's not just magnetic. All those properties and elements are in all of us. But there are elements that there are not even words to explain, because all of the primary languages that most of us speak around the world, there isn't space to really begin to understand the mechanics of consciousness and what it is and how it operates. And if we begin to realize that we accidentally closed ourselves off to all of that potential, then, like I said, we can reverse engineer what got us in a perceived state of dissociate or separate or illusory perception that we're now choosing to open up. And again, listen between the words and sentences. even more than you're listening to what I'm saying. And if there's a part of you that resonates with the tone that all this is coming from, that's great. Feel that, but know that it's not me. It's not mine. If you resonate with this, it is you. This is happening right now because this information is beginning to surface in so many of us now more than ever. And it is so exciting. Yeah, there's still lots of perceived disconnection. There's lots of judgment, fear, projection, all these different personality traits that we have normalized because the world around us has normalized it. And as real as all that stuff appears to be, what is really real is what allows us to perceive all of that anyway. And what allows us to perceive all of this is the source of what allows us to be perceptively aware. And when we start to give attention to that part of ourself, then very naturally that narrow view, that tunnel view begins to open up and kind of feel into what it might be like if from your head, from your eyes, your ears, your breathing, what would it feel like if all of that began to expand in all directions simultaneously? So that all of your perceptual awareness is not limited to anything. It's not limited to your eyesight, your hearing, your breathing. We all are at all times being animated by something that not only do we feel separate from, but that the irony of it is we already are that. The dissociative traits that we had and that we have, we made that because the world around taught us to. So in your body, be as relaxed as you can. And soften your gaze, your eyes, your face muscles. Let everything in your entire body be relaxed. because you are choosing to identify with what empowers all of those senses in the first place. And if you can't feel what it would be like to have every bit of you expand in all directions simultaneously, don't worry about it. With a little bit of practice, you can start to do this. And at scales that are almost impossible to believe. But that's where the medicine is, because there is so much going on within us and around us that is so far beyond our ability to believe, that why would we want to limit ourselves? Especially when we're cultivating this relationship to life within. Rationally, it makes so much sense. Of course, there's something that's operating our body. Of course, it's perplexing to imagine how all of that happens. But the irony of that is that we actually are aware of all of that, of where that comes from, of its qualities. By doing what we are doing, we are breaking down those invisible barriers that we put up because we didn't know what else to do, and because everybody around us and the world is doing that. So you're totally relaxed. You're in your body. Be aware of your breathing, knowing that breathing is an involuntary process. And that process is happening whether we are conscious of it or not. And so when we begin to become conscious of an involuntary process, we are voluntarily choosing to be aware of what is already happening anyway. And when we take our awareness and we begin to attune it to all of these involuntary functions and systems, you spend a little bit of time doing that every day, being so calm that you feel your heartbeat. And then getting even more calm than that so you can feel your pulse anywhere in your body, however small, or everywhere in and around your body at the same time. And the more that somebody chooses to create perceptual habits of this vast, enormous sea of possibilities that is greater than most of us believe ourselves and life to be. But we are that. We already are great. At all times, we are fully connected, and our health, our issues, our obstacles, all of that can be changed so quickly when we simply choose to get in tune with what we already are. So your body's really relaxed. You're aware of your breathing, and you're breathing slower and a little deeper than you usually do. And notice if you can feel air flowing into your nose and back out of it. And get comfortable tuning yourself into these subtle things like feeling air coming in and out of your nose. Feeling your heartbeat if you can. And through your intellect, you have the ability to make sense of the knowing that even if it's not a miracle inside of us, even if it's not that great, it's still quite great. And doing these simple processes every day, we begin to become aware of what truly matters to our health, our vitality, our relationships, before we have any idea of who we are in these bodies and in this life. That innate intelligence has been there the whole time, way before we began to adopt belief systems or thoughts, ideas. That powerful, innocent, dynamic, flexible, miraculous, innate intelligence has been there the whole time. And if we leave these bodies, that energy is still with us. It's the only thing that we have or that has us. And it's with us right now, always, at all times, beyond time. This inner energy is existing in all dimensions, all levels, every single thing about everything we know with our conscious mind and all that we don't know is already there. It is in all of these dimensions simultaneously, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. And the more that all these different dimensions start to link up and we become aware of it, the very powerful recognition of what is really happening starts becoming self-evident. Between being so relaxed in your body that it could almost go to sleep, while at the same time keeping your mind and your awareness wide awake. The two polarities, complete relaxation, yin, and bright, wide awareness is yang. It's day and night. It's all polarities. And it all is balanced inside a part of us that actually isn't in any of the chambers of our brain or our heart. It's there, but it is not bound to any of our physical being. It is metaphysical, and it is what gives the appearance of matter, of things. The only reason we can perceive any of that all comes from an invisible force of energy that we're not disconnected from, that we are at all times fully connected to. And by making space, intentionally feeling peaceful in your body, by allowing your awareness to be peaked, meaning you start to experience the reality of your own inner nature. Within all of that is a balance point. and you'll know it when you're in it because it offers these brief and incredibly powerful moments of knowing yourself as you truly are and being what you are unapologetically, being so in tune with the nature of reality that the awe and mystery and wonder starts to come back because it was never gone to begin with. And the more present we can be with our heartbeat, with our brain, and with our gut, if we were to make a habit every day of just focusing to feel your heartbeat in your chest, to feel the pulse of your heartbeat in the middle of your head, same thing in your gut. You literally feel your pulse. If we were to only focus on those three areas every day, you start to become aware of this innate intelligence. And it is aware that you are aware of it. And you start to know this because it's accompanied by feelings. At first, it's kind of warm and tingly, and it's uplifting. And so you smile because it feels good. But the longer that you choose to focus on feeling your spirit that's animating these three big centers, those feelings start to become way more powerful. And the more you develop your ability to feel the nature of your own inner nature in these three parts of your body, the feeling of it feels beyond anything that could ever be described. It is creativity from the source of your own awareness. It is having the feeling of knowing that you can be so fully in tune with this feeling, and suddenly you begin to know yourself as this miraculous being that you already are. And then it starts to evolve to a degree where you realize that this is priceless. There isn't anything of value in the world that you can ascribe to knowing yourself as the soul. or the life force, whatever you believe, this energy that is in every single one of us, no matter what you believe it is, we all know that it's there. We all know that it's there in everybody, in everything, and in knowing and feeling that, your feelings are able to expand in all directions, everywhere, because we are all of it already, always, at all times, and beyond time itself. And so when you're relaxed, you're breathing slowly, you can feel that something really inspiring is happening in you. And you know you can feel it because it's causing your heart to beat. You aren't consciously doing that. It is this energy that is causing that to happen. That energy allows all of us, however great or small our vision is, it is antecedent to our perception. It comes before we are able to perceive anything and everything. And it doesn't begin and end in any way except for when we create boundaries through tunnel vision to keep us stuck in who we think we are without the knowledge and the wisdom of what we are. What we are is 99.9% what is really happening. And who we think we are doesn't even really fit into the numbers because it's so small. But when we get in tune with what we are, it starts to influence who we are. And that is the beauty, the inspiration, the empowerment, anything you have ever believed to be possible. All the big questions in life through these languages we speak, the answers are already there. They have always been there. We just had a brief moment of amnesia. That after conception, as we begin to grow up and allow ourselves to be conditioned by everybody, all their cultures, all the families, we don't know better. And so all of that begins to influence us. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, this majority of perceptual ability of power itself, it's almost like it's locked up inside of us because we didn't know how to work with it. But now we are, and we have every right there could ever be to be this. And so you're completely relaxed. You're breathing slower and deeper. You're aware that something incredibly amazing is happening within you that causes your body to work and allows you to be aware of what you are, of hearing what I'm saying, of the silence between it. And it starts to get so humbling because the only limitation that exists were created within us simply because we didn't know. And when you put that little inner smile on your face and you take your tongue and you press it to the roof of your mouth behind your teeth, with that inner smile, you are immediately acknowledging that you are powerful enough to immediately change your body chemistry. And it's not just a one-time deal. You can choose to do this over and over every day, maybe eventually all day. And that's when the feeling starts to get really enhanced. That's when we start to feel really inspired and creative. And the more that we engage with possibility, the more the presence of our soul, of our life force in our body becomes amplified. And all of the emotional pain that's held us back, the physical pain that can be so debilitating at times that you don't even want to get up. All of our past exists within us. But when we amplify the fabric of what we are, the past starts to detox from the entirety of our being. And we are gifted with this powerful choice to tend to this miracle of life as the temple that our body is for it. When we realize that this energy is almost the complete majority of what we are, but that isn't acknowledged for less than 0.01% of the people in the world. Meaning most people spend most of their time focusing on less than 0.0001% of what appears to be happening. When you begin to reverse that, or even you start to pay attention to what this energy is 10% of the time instead of less than 0.1, even if you were focusing on it for only 10% of what you're aware of every day, that alone is so profound. And the beautiful thing about all of this is that when you create the environment within you for what is already there to be supported, then you're not left in the dark. Your actual life force, your soul, starts to guide you. And when you start to feel the guidance of all of this energy that we've been talking about and feeling and being, when it starts to guide you and you are aware of it from the instinct in your gut, from the intuition in your heart, and from your mind's ability to create brain coherence so that you can think rationally, logically, and become aware of perceptive blocks that maybe you thought were gone, but that maybe just needed a little bit more love from you. This is priceless. And no matter how much you trip and fall and lose your balance and get filled with fear and chaos, you can just as quickly get back into it. And when that becomes a skill in and of its sense, then you are supported by it. Your soul literally guides you. And that means that it supports the parts of you that need to exist in this world. Monetary abundance, to feel confident that all your needs are met. If this innate intelligence knows how to cause all these systems in your body to operate, whether you're awake or asleep, if you realize that it's already making that happen, then doesn't it just seem obvious that it can also lead you through situations and challenges in your life? Of course it does. Of course it will. You might be doing great and all your needs are being met, and then all of a sudden they're not. And if you start to panic, that's the old you feeding all of the old memories and systems of your body that kept you stuck. That's all of that old stuff coming back again to try and compete for your attention. But instead of pushing it away, you simply relax, breathe slower, and you look at these situations as a greater aspect of your life is communicating to you, through you, about valuable things that are also trying to get your attention so that you can evolve. And if you can feel your heartbeat and you can allow your awareness to spread in every direction as far as you can ever know, doesn't it seem quite clear that our world needs individuals who aren't just aware of it, they're choosing to be aware of it and to live being influenced by it, since it's already operating our body anyway. It's time to let what we truly are, this miracle of life force, to guide who we are. So, what we are, this energy, we are allowing to guide who we are. The person that was stuck in tunnel vision before, in the past, that person has no right to exist in you, in your awareness of this divine, immaculate temple of reality, unless you allow it. You are literally choosing to be who you know you have the potential to be. And of course, you're going to go in and out of that. But as we said earlier, when you can go out of it and then get right back into it just as quick, that's called learning. And when you learn enough, you start to know. You become more aware of the nature of your awareness itself. And that is a gift. That is priceless. And it creates the conditions, not only inside of you, but in the world around you, to support fostering this intimate connection between who you think you are and what you are. And it's the same thing with pain from the past that's followed you here, physical or emotional, spiritual, whatever it feels like. All of that pain isn't just stuck in our body. Just like we know consciousness isn't just in the brain, it is simultaneously in every part of our entire body, all around our body, to levels that are far greater than anybody even knows. It has to be experienced before an individual can live empowered by it. So before we come out of this, relax again. Just do a quick check from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Slow your breathing down, knowing that you are voluntarily creating connection with an involuntary source of energy. And the feeling of that little inner smile that is saying, I love you to your body, that feels elevated. If you only do those three things and you get good at sustaining it, then everything else starts to come through you. All the guidance you need, all the questions have answers, but the answers aren't through language. They're through experiential awareness. All we're doing with all of this is choosing to be a more holistic part of all that we are and of all that we have the potential to be. And if you felt anything tonight that inspired you or that felt amazing and you love it and want to be closer to it, or maybe you felt something deep inside that maybe you've been choosing not to feel, but now it's starting to get your attention. No matter what your experience has been here with us tonight, know that it is yours. It is at all time and always you, your life force, your evolutionary trajectory, your body, your temple where you get to choose your hygiene. And every time that you go out of it, I promise it is so worth it to make a habit of getting right back into it by causing your body to be relaxed, slowing your breathing down, and being aware of it, and putting that little inner smile on your face. That's it. That is the foundation for everything that you know to be possible or that you dream to make reality, whether it's a health condition or maybe you have inspiration beyond anything ever known and you're ready to learn how to bring that about. Whatever it is, just know that it comes from this miraculous bioelectromagnetic source of invisible energy comprised of qualities that far exceed anything that is known or can be measured. Pat yourself on the back. Look at what the odds are that we actually made it, that we were conceived and we came to be as a result of that. Right now, here we are. You've already overcome numbers of epic proportion. So if you can do that, then you can do this. And when you're ready, just allow your whole body to kind of come into a more waking state. That energy is starting to disperse through all your muscles, throughout all your organs. It's flowing naturally throughout all of the meridians and channels and all of your veins. All of your systems of your body are being supported by the energy that is already always there, that you are choosing to become more conscious of now and forever. And so when you're ready, rub your hands, create friction, get them nice and hot, and then take the palms of your hands and put them over your eyes. And notice if you see or sense or feel anything in the dark. And if you don't, if you keep practicing, you will. And please share this with others who you feel would benefit from it. As you go about the rest of your evening or your day, be proud of yourself, because we really did. We made it. We're here. And Greg, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate you and all you've done to support this the whole time. It's truly a labor of love, even beyond that. It's amazing.
I'm assuming you made it. You're alluding to that we made it to 2025, right? All these years.
That,
Yeah,
well, of
a
course,
month.
it's your calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar.
There you go. Right,
No, that
right.
we made it into these bodies. It's really like the sperm and the egg conceived, and we came out of that.
Yeah,
Like, I know people don't want to talk about it. It's weird, but really, it's quite profound, you know?
right on.
We made it, all of us. We all overcame numbers, cosmic
Well,
proportions.
that was beautifully
Yeah.
said. Thank you for the session as usual, and thank you everyone for joining this. Before we forget, oh, I removed that link, but sign up for the newsletter if you aren't already. Go over to I'mAwakeNowWhat.com and um, sit on there for 10 seconds. You'll get a pop-up window and just subscribe to the newsletter and get Seth's free book on there too. So we haven't pitched that in a couple
Thank
weeks,
you. No,
but
only the
yeah,
PDF now. The
yeah,
PDF's on
PDF.
there.
But hey, it's
I'm
free,
waiting
man.
for more copies. But yeah, people have been reading the PDF. So
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. We love you and have a fantastic week, guys.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Love you guys.